Hey everybody, welcome back to the Toy Duo team, and today is Star Wars Podcast Day.
When you have a plastic addiction and your shelves are overflowing, when you don't know what new is coming, but you fear you might miss out, just sit right back, just relax and watch you listen. The Toy Duo team brings you what you need, the toy news you didn't know you needed. Toy news, it has it all for you. Action figures, TV news, all the pop culture you can handle. You can have more action figures that will ever fit on your shelf.
It's just
So dumb.
every time, man. Every time.
All right, anyways, it's the Toy Duo team. We're back. It's Star Wars Podcast Day 2025. It was actually yesterday, February 7th, 1999 was supposedly the very first Star Wars podcast. So that's kind of what we're celebrating. So we do have some Star Wars conversation that we're going to have today, but we're also going to do all the toy and action figure news reveals and the regular stuff that we normally do. But let's just say hi to everybody. So we got, oh, baby, it's cold outside. Dana's back.
Hey.
I don't know. Are you guys getting the snow? The freezing? Well, obviously not burned.
I think we're getting the rain tonight.
We got bombarded by snow this morning, and then it immediately melted from the 70-degree sunshine.
Ours isn't melting.
I haven't checked the weather. I haven't checked the weather, but my wife said we're getting freezing rain tonight.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
okay, yeah. You're just behind me. We're getting it. Like right now, I just looked outside and it's like a sheet. It's just a sheet. A thick sheet.
Ooh, all right. Sir Eric's here, and Super John is here.
Hey.
I had to cut off Super John so we get started because he was looking up all of the tariff information from around the world.
Well, I didn't think we were going to talk about it on the show, though. I'm the tax man.
Anyway, the reason why we're
it's way too complicated to get into on the show.
The reason why we were talking about it was because prior to the show starting, this came up over on Twitter, and it was about the Maximum Series Spider-Man. You know, we've had multiple conversations about the price point on this, and we all took our Prices Right showdowns a couple of weeks ago on the price, and then we came back, and I wanted to have a second conversation because I really wanted to like drive it in, and I think this thing's going to be super expensive. But anyways, today we got the warning that this is coming out on Thursday. And then there was a whole bunch of comments about, hey, why aren't you telling us how much this is? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know if anybody saw my comment, but I threw in a couple of flats of eggs and figured it would cost that much because the price of eggs is skyrocketing right now.
Eggs. I don't get it. Why? Do you know why?
I saw videos of people at Costco getting like shopping cart fulls.
Yeah. All right,
I swear it's a test to see how much we're willing to pay, and then the price will never go down after they figure that out.
I mean,
but there's also the bird flu.
That was totally fake.
So the thing that I thought was interesting here is this piece down at the bottom where the response about 15-20 minutes ago was, I rarely mention price here. The price will vary based on country, retailer, distributor, etc. Maximum Series gives us a great opportunity to do new stuff, and we really like this one. You'll be able to see the price when it goes up. So basically, it's kind of like saying there's not going to be a price launch until it goes up next week on the 13th. So you're not going to be able to see the price, and it's just going to be speculation till then, unless they break their word and give us the price.
Can I give that answer to the trombone?
Yes.
Yep.
That's what I think of Dan's answer.
Right. So the interesting part of that is we were discussing it here, and I think that they wanted to set a certain price, but then I was speculating that, even though it might be like $50 in Canada or $60 in Canada or $60 in Mexico or whatever, it might be up to $75 here in the States or somewhere where there might be a new tariff or something like that. So John was researching. He believed that Canada had the same outrageous tariffs that we're going to have. And he would, I think, is that what why you were looking at it?
No, I was curious. I didn't know which countries had tariffs on, and I wanted to see if we could compare it to a country that had a tariff. You know what I mean? But it looks like Canada has tariffs on electronics, from
not-
China, but
yeah.
not petroleum products, which I would assume a toy would fall under petroleum.
We'll see in a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the weird thing about our list is if you go to the government website and look at what the proposed tariffs are on, like they have an entire spreadsheet on it, and petroleum products are not on the list, but there is other manufacturing.
Right.
And there's nothing else that toys would fit in because it says live animals, meat, dairy products, fruits, blah, blah, blah.
Let me ask you a
oils,
question,
seeds,
John. Can I ask you a
fish,
question about
minerals,
Can I
chemicals,
ask
wood.
you a question
Yeah,
instead
yeah.
of you reading the entire list?
Yeah.
Is this related to the new executive order,
Yes.
or is this just the existing stuff?
No, this is the new executive order. It
All right, so
25
so I
right
have
at the top.
so instead of
John-
like reading the
John's
whole
going
list,
through. John's going through a boot camp on how to be a customs agent.
Yeah, exactly.
because that's gonna take all day. But
You
anyway,
can't speculate on this stuff. You have to look up the actual facts.
right?
You know what I mean?
You know what, John? For once, I agree with you, but we're not going to read all the facts here. We just-
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I don't want to get into it because it's going to take hours.
well, that's why I'm
You know
trying to
what I
have a
mean?
very
Like,
general conversation. So we'll find out next week, like what the
Yeah.
price is, and then we can complain about it on the weekend. But
but
like what
I gotta
John-
say, I'm worried now. I picked $49.95 or
and I picked
$49.99,
$59.99.
and I'm worried now that it's going to be like $75 or $80, like you're saying. You know?
Yes,
We'll
Yeah.
Because
see.
if they really
will
don't
see.
want to say it, that
We
means
will
it's
see.
astronomical.
all
I
those
still
people are
think-
going to go on my video and delete their comments because when I made that video, there were a lot of people telling me how wrong I was.
I still think they haven't fully committed. I think they're testing the market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You think
on
there's like, but like Jonathan's
Promos.
saying here, if it turns out to be like $35-$40, then them not mentioning the price just looks like a gimmick,
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
right?
surely,
Like,
Dan, I agree with you, but like surely there's a deadline that they need to give
Oh, yeah.
to retailers because they're going to be posting this on Thursday, right?
and
It's
that's
not gonna be
related
like-
to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, let's say hi to JT, Jonathan Redmond. Dandy's in the chat also. We got Q's in the chat. Let's see. Jumpy McClunky's here. Northern Nomad. We have, let's see. Gary's Grills was in here early. Did I miss anybody?
Oh man, you guys.
Let's see.
Q.
If I missed anybody. Oh, Storyteller just jumped in. He's saying,
Yep.
does public event to executive
Jumpy,
order?
right?
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Oh my god. Here you go. See what you started.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, okay. So we won't get into all those conversations. But anyways, I was looking for Northern Nomad's comment about us being suckers because I like to play this video. When
Oh,
Northern Nomad says, "What's up, suckers?" I was gonna try to do a video clip of like Roddy Piper putting on those glasses. We all look like suckers.
Oh,
Got it.
Yeah. All right. So what?
yep.
Turn it up.
Oh, suckers. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
He never
See?
buys eggs.
He doesn't buy eggs, right?
Apparently not.
No, he doesn't. He says
So
he
at my
doesn't.
Costco now, by the way, because I went there yesterday, has a sign that is you're limited to only 3 eggs, 3 packs of eggs.
3 little eggs. 3
No,
individual
3
eggs.
packs. So they have like the brown eggs in the 24. They have white eggs in the 24. Then they have the flat thing that has like the 36, but it's 2 flats of it. And then they have the white and the brown ones, so you can get either or. So you can mix and match and get any 3 packs of eggs. That's it.
Do you ever mix the brown and the white when you're making food in the morning?
No, because I only buy the one specific eggs that I like.
Gotcha.
Chicken.
Yeah. we used to have chickens.
I was trying to make a joke because the brown and the white eggs are the same thing.
We used to have chickens and like we had more than we could ever eat and stuff like that. But we had all the different kinds of hens. It was fun. They were
The
fun.
neighbor up by the house has chickens in their backyard, and they get more every day than they could ever use, so they give them to my mom, so she never has to worry about eggs.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And they just
you know what?
hatched. They just hatched like 10 more babies too. They actually hatched. So
I think you should go over there and give them all Star Wars names.
all the chickens. Yeah.
Yes,
I
all the
should.
chickens.
I will. Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. So before we get started with everything else, let's just do a little bit of bragging camp because we like to brag about anything that we may have in our collection or that we might have picked up that we want to show off. So does anybody have anything they want to show off this week?
I can go last.
All right.
I can go last. That's how he
Yeah.
That's funny.
I guess you're going first, and then I'll go second.
Okay, all right. Well, I really don't have
Look at those original boxes. Wow.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, so I only posted I just set these aside. I grabbed these for today since we were talking Star Wars, but I don't know if I've ever shown you guys these. Do you remember when we had the litho craze? I want to say early.
We've never seen any of your collection.
Yeah.
I didn't think you had. Do you remember the posters that said like goals and
yeah
ambition and determination, and they did a series of these with Marvel characters.
Really?
Oh, I never saw those.
So and they had like this one says commitment.
I saw the demotivational ones where it was like second place is just the first place loser.
That's probably my favorite one. I've got a couple Hulk ones. There's an Elektra. They had nice little frames. I mean, the artwork was. I think they were pretty decent. Some of them it seemed like they were unique to this particular poster. Like you wouldn't find this art anywhere else. But anyway, I've had these for a long time. I probably got those like 20 years ago, man. But they've been hanging up. But where they're hanging, you can't see them because they're actually on the side of this shelf right here. So they.
Yeah.
I can see them, but I thought I'd sit it out.
Those are cool. I like them.
Yeah.
I need some motivational posters in here.
Yeah. And the one with the eagle soar. Remember?
Yeah.
It's in like every office building anywhere you want.
Or the famous cat poster. Keep hanging in there.
Keep hanging in there. About the same time frame. Yeah.
Have you ever opened those striped boxes or are those sealed?
Oh no, they're sealed.
Okay. All right. All mine have been opened.
I'm an inboxer.
Yeah. Well, my figure showed up from, I believe it was Entertainment. It was Entertainment Earth, right? That had these. So I have Bikram. I have Conan.
It's very Star Warsy.
The Pit Fighter Conan. Yeah. No, unfortunately, there's a little bend, but I don't. Whatever.
You're gonna open it though, right?
Not this Conan. I want to get a Conan to open, but look at the figure. That doesn't look like Conan. It looks like, Frank.
You know who that looks like? That looks like Krull the Conqueror.
Yeah. It doesn't look. But then we got Subotai in the striped war paint.
Oh yeah,
cool.
Look at that.
And
he doesn't look anything like his picture.
This Conan looks a lot more like Arnold. This is a better Conan.
The Predator Conan.
The war paint Conan. So if I can't find the actual Conan, because I actually didn't get that Conan, but if I am able to find him, I might get an extra of that one to open.
All right.
But the war paint Conan would be second place if I can't find the other one. And then we have Valeria in war paint.
Oh, that's cool.
And we have Subotai in his normal gear with bow and arrow.
The picture looks like Nicolas Cage.
No, it looks like Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny.
And then of course we have Thulsa Doom. And since the only ones I really would buy doubles of is Conan and Thulsa Doom. So I got a Thulsa Doom double already and opened it. And he has a vinyl cape, which is really cool. And a nice cobra dagger, like snake dagger.
Wow.
This is a great figure, Very impressed with it. Thulsa Doom. Yeah, so that was my grab for the week. So they had 5 of these for $20, and then the other one, this Conan, I had to pay like $15 for to get it on its own because they didn't have him as part of the sale. So
that's pretty cool. I like it. I'm glad you told me about that sale because I would have jumped right on it.
I know I didn't. I mentioned it late, and then it was already gone. And now
Yeah.
some of the figures are back up to like $15, $20.
Yeah, their regular
So,
price, they're crazy.
yeah. So that sale was just to cut down on some stock, and when they got to a point that they were happy with, they jacked the price back up on the remaining ones.
So you're going to open those and do a review, right? So when you open Conan, are you going to say, "Get to the chopper"?
Well, was that in Conan? I don't think that was in Conan.
I'm just messing with you.
Uh,
All right. Is that it, John?
Yeah, but it
And
was
then
like
Eric-
the Alien figures when they did that. You remember they did that with the Alien figures? Like all the Marines from Aliens were on sale for they got like 4 or 5 for $20.
I don't remember that. I just remember finding this one alien figure at Ross, and I picked it up.
Yeah, were those guys? It was those guys. Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's the only one I have. All right.
Did a
Anyways,
special on them once.
because of Star Wars Day, podcast day, I just thought I'd show this off. I did not get the Black Series version, but I did pick this up out of a while back, and there's 2 of
That's
them.
a cool one. Yeah.
Who has the Black Series? Eric, do you have the Black Series one?
Yeah, I got it.
Does it do this?
No, it does not.
Whoa.
Shoots the missile.
I thought it was like you pull down and it shoots.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, I don't know why. It's like I feel like I gotta, like, if you go down, nothing happens. But if you
maybe I'm wrong. I haven't played with that since 2000 or whatever.
so
Yeah, I would have liked to have gotten the Black Series too, but that was gone before it was
a little
even
too
up for
expensive,
sale.
I think,
Yeah.
for me. All right. Anyways, Eric's gonna go last. Go ahead, Eric.
1 second.
It's show and tell, and he turns the thing off.
Nice.
Yeah,
I love
Yeah,
it.
just
Thanks
give me a
for showing
second.
us that.
Give me a second.
That is fantastic.
This must be a great setup, whatever it is. I'm
He's
excited.
moving his camera. He's getting his camera set up because he wants to show you
Whoa!
What? No.
the sail barge.
Got one.
Wow.
Yeah, I picked one up.
Does it actually?
Wow.
Sorry.
Is that? Does it come with rocket firing Boba Fett or something?
No, it's Yak Base.
Oh, that's Yak Base up there.
The yak
Oh,
face
I
with the
can't
coin.
tell. I'm not wearing my
coin.
glasses.
Sorry, I can't see the camera because the box is so big. So
Go the other way a little bit. Don't be
This
other
way?
way.
A little bit up,
Other way.
a
Other
little
way.
bit up.
Other way. Other way. Keep
Other
going,
way.
other way.
Up.
Keep going.
Oh, it's upside down.
Keep going. Keep going.
no, I know that.
There,
I know it's,
a little bit more. There you go. There you go.
yeah.
So we can see the words.
Wow, that's fancy.
Look at that.
Yeah. So
That's the
I'm-
guy. That's the guy that jumped out the doorway and went.
So I am very pleased.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah. I have one other very smaller,
Go for
very
it.
much smaller, but I haven't opened it yet. But
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
I got this from Pulse in the mail
Nice.
this week. So
That's the Transformers.
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Will you be opening that and transforming it?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh, it's got a
Yeah.
stand and everything. That's neat.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah.
That was very nice to see that cell barge in there. I know you were looking at them for a while, so I'm glad you picked that up before you know.
Yeah,
I'm just
thanks.
imagining when your kids get old enough and you're like anxiety's going up because they're like down there playing with it.
I want to play with it.
Well, it's sitting on top of my wife's desk.
And you don't know. You walk down there and they're both standing up on chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to
well,
glue whatever they broke.
well, it's funny because for the longest time, where the sail barge is right now, I had my SDCC exclusive Jabba, like Black Series Jabba, sitting right there. So like my wife would be really upset that she had to look at Jabba the Hutt all day
Okay.
long. So now she has to look at his sail barge. So I thought that was kind of funny.
That is cool. Yeah.
Give them the choice between the two of them.
Isn't there a little Jabba inside if you open the door?
There is. Yeah. I'm leaving the panels on though, like dust for like,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, sure.
Dust.
Yeah. If you get too much dust and dirt inside, it's going to be a pain to get that out.
Yeah.
All right, so moving along, what we'll do is we'll do the crowdfund update you didn't know you needed, and we haven't done this in a while, but we got a HasLab to talk about.
There's a new
Do we?
crowdfunding.
Yeah, so yesterday they launched a Transformers HasLab, and it's Leo Kaiser.
Yes,
This is
it's something that
12 inches tall.
none of us have ever heard of.
Yeah,
John,
he comes.
what is this from?
So this is
No one
from
knows.
Transformers Victory, which is a Japanese
Yeah.
side of the Transformers. It was
Nobody knows.
out there, and it was like these 6 independent Transformers, and they came from a team in Japan. It was called Breast Force. Hasbro changed to Chest
Yeah.
Force. Yeah, unfortunately,
It
that
was.
was the name.
Yeah.
But anyways, like the reason why they were called that was because the Transformers had these chest pieces or breast pieces that would come off, and it would either be their weapon, and it would also be their like sidekick, right? So
Yeah.
they had the little sidekick animal or whatever Transformer animal, but then they would form together and make this Leo Kaiser. So yeah, kind of like Voltron-ish, right? Because of course Voltron was made in what, like the early 80s or late 70s or something like that, and Transformers got over there maybe in the mid to late 80s, and then they tuned it up for the audience. And of course everybody likes a transforming robot that connects together. So there's 6 different robots that come together, and they make the Leo Kaiser. It's like, you know, the chest and head, you got the arms, and you got the legs, right? So you got kind of like your Leo Kaiser, and then it's pretty cool. I made a short video about it showing like the cartoon transformation, but it is a Japanese property, so it's kind of like.
Was this that early? Was this early 80s, really?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
I was wondering if it was more towards Power Rangers time part.
No, Power
Was it?
Rangers is a US thing, because
Well, I meant
in
Super
Japan-
Sentai. You know what I mean? Super Sentai.
Yeah. Well, Super Sentai was set like late 70s.
Really? I thought the
Early
first
80s.
ones were in like the late 80s. Okay.
I think it was
Okay.
late 70s, early 80s, because
Yeah,
they came over here. I mean, you had multiple variations of the Super Sentai, and then
Yeah.
because that Kamen Rider and all those were 70s. You know
Were
what I
those
mean?
part of Super Sentai, really?
I think it was the same guy who developed those Kamen Rider series or whatever, like that same Tankuhatsu or whatever.
Yeah.
They're the same group that created all these properties. And I think that like with the animation, it was like Voltron, and then when they decided to take Transformers, they geared it to the audience, right? Like that's the way it is. So this is a kind of a Japanese property. But yeah, like Jonathan's saying, it's already like what, a third of the way there so far. That's pretty good, you know, considering it's only been the first weekend. We'll see how the slowdown goes. This is really, to me, like speaking to a bigger audience than just the Transformers fans here. The problem is,
so, but I went and asked our Transformers fan group down here, and nobody knew what this was.
yeah.
They
So
were all asking me. They were like, "You're the one who's going to know about it more than us."
So the thing is, I think it only stands like 12 inches tall, right? So each of these robots are tiny. So the thing is, is this a dream project, or is this just a retail $150 Transformer?
The whole thing is 12 inches tall?
No, I think that's what it said, right? Like,
Okay.
I
I
have no
didn't look
idea.
it up.
I've got it up here. I'm trying to find it.
let me go to their page.
Initial offering.
Somebody tell me if I'm wrong.
6.
Well, how much
Yeah,
do they
I
want?
feel like what
300.
it's
Wow.
$300.
They're
Wow.
each 5.5.
What is it?
Combined 12. Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
combined, the robot itself is 12 inches. I mean, that's not a dream project when you think of those. What was that Victory Saber dude that was like the height of Galactus or whatever?
Yeah.
Maybe because it's so niche
So-
and it wouldn't be made otherwise. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's got to be just because it wouldn't be
I
made
think so.
otherwise. But that seems a little high for the price tag.
Because these were part of the Transformers line. If I'm right, in Japan, I feel like these toys were available in Japan. So I think it's bringing back those figures, right? Now the characters supposedly had their own personalities, and they didn't get along.
Well,
That
like the
was, like,
thing
kinda-
is Was the thing that these were part of actually called Leo Kaiser? Like, what was the? Because technically Japan didn't have a thing called Transformers. They had Diaclone, they had Machine Robo, and a few other lines that
No,
when
but this is
Hasbro
like
executives went over there, the
yes.
Japanese people showed them these different transforming robots, and they said, okay, we're going to take these from Machine Robo, these from Diaclone, these from this other line, whatever they had, and Hasbro combined them into a unit called Transformers. And once Hasbro was producing Transformers, then they reintroduced them in Japan as Transformers.
I don't know the story, but I think that this was taking Transformers over there and making that. So it could be that they were originally their ideas, and that Hasbro just accepted them to be. I just know that this was a Japanese show. It is called Transformers Victory, and this guy is a Decepticon.
That's why I was asking the time frame, because they didn't have anything called Transformers until after Hasbro invented the.
Yeah, the show was actually called Transformers Victory.
Okay, then that was after '84. Then.
Yeah, I think this was around '89.
Okay.
It's still cool. I mean,
yeah,
I hope it funds.
Yeah,
because in Japan, like here in the States, we only really had Transformers the cartoon, and then we had a brief moment where we had some Headmasters stuff. But after Headmasters, Japan went into Transformers Armada and Transformers Cybertron, and now I guess Transformers Victory. You know, they went on into all the way into the '90s with Transformers cartoons, and that we never technically got over here.
But my question is, do you think that, like, because it's a property that wouldn't get made, that rates it to be a dream project for the sake of a HasLab, or do you think they should have just did something where they said, we're going to put this together, it's $200, if you know what I mean, kind of like their timed release?
Do it. That's a timed release. Yeah, that would make more sense. Absolutely.
With a minimum purchase, you know what I mean? Like, to
me,
that,
yeah,
without having to build tiers, because I mean,
yeah,
these super awesome tiers, right? Like, okay, so you got Death Cobra, right? That's probably going to get unlocked. But I mean, is this like nunchuck accessory that can become like a spear, right? And like,
wow,
calling you to like get another like 5,000 backers? Is that purple plastic stand something like, that's, you know what I mean? It's like, once they get to Death Cobra, it's like they just thought, well, nobody else is going to back it.
Yeah.
JCC says Transformers Victory was the show.
Yeah, Transformers Victory. I made a little short video where I showed the actual cartoon of the actual Transformer trying to transform, and a little bit of like background on it, because I thought it was interesting though that Hasbro is now calling it Chest Force, right? Instead of Breast Force.
I'm just saying they would have got backed by now.
At least they put the better tier as the first one.
Yeah. So, I mean, the display stand, I guess it's kind of cool to have the stand, right? Because
someone could 3D print something like that.
Yeah, but you can make that.
That doesn't fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Pretenders. Yeah.
At Victory, sorry.
We got Pretenders after Headmasters and Power Masters, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So KCC Toys, I always forgive John a little bit on that stuff because he's about my age.
My brain doesn't work. Yeah. I don't remember the order of stuff. I just remember it came out. Yeah.
It does get murky.
Yeah.
I was actually.
I don't know how any one person can remember the order of all these things. Like if I went to you and said, "When did Air Raiders come out?" Are you going to know that right off the top of your head? Like no one knows the order of all these things like off the top of their head.
All right, but so anybody here going to back that thing for 300?
Not at all. No, not absolutely.
No, but I barely get any Transformers.
The thing is, it's a really cool idea, you know, like that they're reaching into a property that wasn't like primarily here in the US. You know what I mean? It's kind of like finding those Shogun Warriors available from like Bandai to like recapture. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. I know the Shogun Warriors were available here in the States. You know what I mean? I understand that. But like it's not where, you know, originated or whatever. It would be like for me, Playmates is going to get the Power Rangers license. I know they had a tease. I didn't pull anything up, but Eric was talking about it earlier. To me, it would be really cool if Playmates said, hey, maybe I was trying to grab something. Oh, maybe we do like the Super Sentai figures.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because this is the origin of the Power Rangers in a way, right?
And you might be
so
able to do figures that we hadn't done yet. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
yeah. So I think that would be really cool.
I was just
Playmates-
looking at the page for the HasLab, and one thing I didn't notice is that they also have like animals that are part of the individual Transformers. That's kind of cool. It's
Yeah.
like separate pieces.
So that's part of
probably
the
where
chest,
it comes the chest.
yeah, the chest piece, right? Is
Yeah.
the sidekick animal or whatever.
Well, they were
And then there's
they were into that because, like I said, they did headmasters where you had the transformer and then the head turned into a little transformer. And
So
they had
so there's a
Go ahead,
there's a
go ahead.
dude with like a drill on his head,
yeah.
right? And it's
Yeah.
so just put that together with the name of the team, because that would be his
Yeah. But yeah, and then they did like I remember they had Power Masters, which I think the engine that clipped into that was one of the things that usually clipped into their chest or some part of their, you know, this part of the body that the engine would come out and transform into a small thing. They had Weapon Masters where the weapon would transform into a little robot, or you'd have a robot multiple robots that turned into one big weapon for somebody.
right.
So I think it had to be along that period, right, where they were doing this
I
chest
once again,
master thing.
I
Yeah,
just know it was in the late 80s.
yeah, it was.
Okay. And I don't know anything about the other stuff you're talking about.
It would be cheaper than a G1 Tour. I'm still debating.
All right, so Jonathan's saying that he thinks it's overpriced. I agree with him. I think it should be around maybe 150 to 200, and it should have been like a time release with no tiers, nothing like that. And it should have just came with the robots. I mean, they did that re-release of Voltron recently, and I think that thing was actually a pretty good size, and you had to buy all the robots separately. And I think one robot was like $30, and the rest of them were like 20. So I mean, the whole thing was like $120. So.
KCC says it would be cheaper than buying a G1. So,
Okay, well, there you go.
yeah, maybe.
All right, so Prophet's saying that Hasbro doesn't care about the Power Rangers. I agree. Jonathan is also saying that Hasbro doesn't own Super Sentai, and then they would have to pay for the license. I agree. I still think it would be really cool to be able to get U.S. Toys made from a bigger manufacturer other than like Bandai, or I think these were Evolution toys that are like Super Sentai, because I would really like that.
So the Playmates license only includes what was in America? Is that what they're trying to say?
I'm sorry?
So they're
Probably.
trying to say that the Playmates, like ability for Playmates to make toys of Power Rangers, only includes what was sent to America, not the Super
under
Sentai.
Power Rangers, because Super
Yeah.
Sentai, you know, because when Power Rangers came out, it was, I think it became its like own property, kind of, right? Even though
Gotcha.
The
it's developed
Saban
from there.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Salacious Rum's in the chat. I was gonna actually invite him on
Oh.
because it's the 100th episode, and then I was gonna like try to do this whole thing where I was gonna say, "Hey, it's the 100th episode. It's Star Wars Hat Day. If you're not wearing a hat, you're out." And then I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Well, I can't understand what he's because all the lettering's wrong. He must have. the
Yeah,
caps
he's
lock on.
complaining about this Salacious George here.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Okay. Anyway, so this is the last episode. I think we're going to do a history of a year. We were doing that thing through the 80s and 90s, and we got to the, episode 100. This is episode 100. So I thought it would be nice to kind of finish it off with the Y2K, or the year 2000, because it'll be up for debate, but I'll say it was last year of the century. And then when 2001 came, the new century began. Even though in 2000, on January 1st, everyone was celebrating the new millennium, they were just doing it a year early.
Yeah.
You guys agree with that?
I feel like this was a missed opportunity to do the,
because we didn't have like it's not like people were running around and going, look, it's year 0. No, they started at year 1. Yeah.
Right.
No, they started at year 1. Yeah.
So we all got our math right. Okay, good. All right. So anyways, in the year 2000, it was the first year that Martin Luther King Jr. Day was officially observed in all 50 states. And I think that's a pretty good, I clipped that because it's Black History Month. So I thought I'd point it out that it was the first year that we officially observed in all 50 states.
Wow.
I'd also like to point out, what?
2000.
Yeah, 2000. November 7th was a contested presidential election between George Bush and Al Gore because of a legal battle over Florida's election counts.
And it's happened ever since.
Yep. And what happened was Al Gore basically just
won the popular vote.
Ceded. Yeah, he basically just ceded and said, let's not put the country through that. And let's just move forward. He didn't proceed with that battle, right? January 10th, AOL and Time Warner announced a merger. American Online announced a $162 billion deal to purchase Time Warner, making it the largest corporate merger at that time. And now it just doesn't seems like a drop in the bucket when you hear how much these guys are making.
Well, it's still big.
Yeah,
that is pretty big considering they sold Star Wars for only $4 billion.
Right.
I didn't realize that companies were doing 100 billion deals back in that time.
Yeah, in 2000.
Yeah, 25 years ago.
That sounds like a today number, not back then number.
Yeah, it was amazing. But you got to remember, like the internet had just started a few years earlier, right? Like, I mean,
this is before the bubble burst. Yeah.
Yeah, you were still dialing up at this point, I think, and then AOL was big, right? They had their own movie where you got mail or something.
I was going, what movie? And then you're like, wasn't that Sleepless in Seattle or something?
It was Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan.
Yeah. So in February, the final Peanuts comic strip was published. And some of you guys might not know what Peanuts was, but it's a cartoon with a kid named Charlie Brown where nothing really went right. And he had his little pet dog, Snoopy, who was like the coolest dog you'd ever want to have. Right.
Snoopy could time travel.
He could. And then in December, it was the end of the 20th century. But also, it was the end of the second millennium. That's something I actually never thought about before until I read it right now, because it was actually the end of the second 1,000 years.
And do you also know that it was a special year because this is probably going to confuse half the people. So you know how we do leap years, right? Every 4 years we have to add a day in because of the way the Earth rotates. Well, every 100 years, you actually have to take a day away. So you'd have 2 leap years because you have to take a day away. Or you would skip a leap year every 100 years. Sorry. You'll skip a leap year every 100 years because the little bit amount that adding that day in every 4 years is actually it's too much. We're going over by a certain amount. And every 100 years, that amount we go over it adds up to a day. So we actually don't, every 100 years, we don't put back in that leap day. But every 400 years, we have to add in the leap day on the 100 year that we normally wouldn't have a leap day. And that was 2000.
Can you bring up a chart, Ron?
I told you it even confuses me trying to explain it. So the year 2000 was an extremely special year because it was one out of every 400 years that we do this complicated thing to our calendar.
All right. All right. So also Paisano saying that was the year computers broke, but that was actually the year that your computer date had to change to a 4-digit year. That was the software solve for going from 1999 to the year 2000, was that they updated all the computers to then recognize a 4-digit year code. So you know when they're going to have that problem again? In the year 9,999. They're going to have to update the computers.
Yep.
Well,
They're going to be like, those idiots 10,000 years ago didn't think about this. You know?
Might not get to that point. NASA said, what, in 2032 we have a higher chance of getting hit by an asteroid. So.
Oh yeah. Did you hear that news that they said that they thought they found like a new asteroid or meteor heading towards Earth or in Earth's orbit or something like that, and it turned out to be that like Tesla that's out in space?
It was the one on the Roadster. The Roadster that got the dude in it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So anyways, so I thought I'd do something a little bit different and show you these 3 movies, which were the top 3 grossing movies in the year 2000. Can you guys put them in the order of top grossing to 3rd highest grossing worldwide in the year 2000? Any guesses?
Not how much they made today, only what they made in 2000?
No. So they would be considered the top worldwide grossing movie that was released in the year 2000.
In the year,
right?
Yeah.
So they only take in box office numbers. So none of these movies are in the theaters anymore. So their box office numbers basically stop, right? So what movie is the #1 worldwide grossing movie from the year 2000?
Mission Impossible.
Gladiator.
I'll go Castaway. I don't care.
That way one of us is right.
If anybody in the chat wants to play along, you guys can do. Okay, what's the #2 top grossing movie from the year 2000?
Gladiator.
Oh, JT's got a guess. Castaway.
Gladiator, Mission
I'll
Impossible.
go Mission Impossible then.
Okay.
We'll just have different lists.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's the opposite of how you have them. I think it's MI2, Gladiator, Castaway.
Okay, so MI2, Gladiator, Castaway. That's how John goes. What's your guess, Dan?
I got it in the chat here. I got Gladiator, Castaway, Mission Impossible.
Oh, okay, good. And Eric, what do you think?
Oh, I'm just doing whatever is the opposite.
Is he born yet?
Guessing. I was born.
Yeah, he was born. But that's why I was saying that thing about the peanuts.
I saw all.
You might not know what that is.
Yeah.
In the theater, you know how he got in? He went up to the ticket taker and he fell off.
That was around this time, to be fair. Sorry. I'll have to tell that story again so Vern's not chuckling through the whole bit, but yeah.
All right, so here it is. It's Mission Impossible, Gladiator, and Castaway. And here are the numbers. So if you guys were playing along at home, whether you put it in the chat or not, it was Mission Impossible, Gladiator, then Castaway.
It's crazy. MI2, man.
546 million?
Yeah, can you imagine like that was the big blockbuster hit? I mean, now you're talking about billion-dollar movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then these are some of the action figures that came out in the year 2000. Now, these were Planet of the Apes figures. And one of the reasons why these came out in 2000 was because Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes is going to come out in 2001. They knew it, but they didn't actually have the figures yet for the movie. So they went ahead and because everybody, kind of knew, they threw all these out there again, trying to capture some of that excitement about this upcoming movie with this line of figures.
That looks like Chewbacca with clothes.
Yeah, do these like only have arms that move? Like, do they look really
probably
strange?
I think they look like the Sofubi almost, huh?
Yeah, they're I thought they were applause statues or something. They look really weird.
All right, and then some of the other figures from the year 2000 would be this line of Power of the Jedi. The basic figures launched in the year 2000. And I put those in there because it's Star Wars related for Star Wars Podcast Day. And then with the 12-inch figures, they had these 2 sets, and it looks like that was the last year that they released any of the 12-inch figures.
I have both these, but they're open.
That's okay.
I lost.
I need to get some of those 12-inch figures from the 90s that I had.
They're really good.
Yeah. I don't have them anymore. I need to find some on eBay.
All right.
They're still not bad. Most of them. There's a few that are creeping up in price, but they're still, most of them are not bad, even in the boxes, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So that's cap off the year 2000's episode 100. We got to year 2000. We'll do something different. We'll have another type of a segment coming up in the future. We'll figure out what that is. Maybe we'll do like a whole call for help type section where
I thought John was going to do like tax returns.
Yeah.
Tax prep.
No. I think he said what he wanted to do was he wanted to read us some legal text from
What?
some patent office.
Yeah. Whatever.
All right. So last week we were talking about
Sorry, John.
Star Wars Podcast Day. And the homework, part of the homework was coming up with a Star Wars idea. So does anybody have a Star Wars idea they want to share? I did some graphics and stuff for mine, so I'll share mine at the end. But who wants to talk about like what they had in mind for a Star Wars property or something for it, you know, that's just not been done or whatever? Like if you were told, hey, we're going to give you the Star Wars project to do, come up with something and roll with it. Did anybody think about it?
Yep.
I've thought about it.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
Be my guest, John.
Oh, all right. Well, I really would like to see, and I think that if I were a showrunner, I would plug this and I would run with it, and I would get the best writers on the planet who've written. I would actually get people who wrote like some fantasy stuff, like Tolkien or something, you know, because I would like to see the Jedi Sith War, like a time in the Star Wars past when there was many multiple Sith. So there's hundreds of Sith against hundreds of Jedi. You know, imagine seeing like a Braveheart type battle where there's like tons of red lightsabers and tons of blue and green, and they're all flying at each other.
They did that in like Attack of the Clones?
Not really, no.
Or the other one where they were in that arena?
No, that was
no, that was also Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, there was still only one.
Didn't they have
Sith.
a whole bunch of like Jedis with all their lightsabers?
Yeah, but there was no Sith in that battle.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right.
Like hundreds of red lightsabers, like in hundreds of green and blue, just battling each other. You know, and so
You're
I
thinking of
that,
like SWTOR, like stuff
before the rule of two. Yeah, before the rule of two.
All right. Yeah. You want to hear what while you're describing your idea, let's just take a look at what he wants a Star Wars sitcom, and immediately I started thinking about how would that work? Like maybe there's a cantina or something, and you got the barkeep, and then like the people that come in there are like regulars, like Carson Teva, and like and then they sit at the end of the bar every week, and then something like that. But then he throws in Star Wars Hoth Road Truckers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Off-road truckers. Yep.
But what would be? But going back to what you were saying, Vern, like if you had a like a Star Wars Cheers, right? What would it be called? McClunky.
Yep. McClunkies. Yep.
Why not combine them? You could have like a Eastbound and Down with the Cheers, where they instead of a bar, it's a truck stop that they stop at.
There
where
you
they're
go.
Like, flying between planets, and I gotta haul some cargo, man.
Yeah.
Well, then it would be called Wings, right?
Yeah,
Remember
Wings,
that show, that sitcom Wings, where the guys had the little private.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
They had the little, and it was like all in like a little airport in like Alaska or whatever.
Wasn't Monk the repair guy or something?
Yeah. So or you could just do like a Taxi, right? Like there's like a place where these guys get together and they have their little space cars, and they gotta go take fares down to the capital.
Hammerhead
on
always
Coruscant or
slides in.
whatever.
Hammerhead always comes. He's like, "Whoa, you got me there."
Oh, thank you very much. Oh my gosh! All right.
No, I just think it would be really cool to take it because, like, the whole
Epic.
idea of the Jedi Sith Wars and the reason they came up with the Rule of Two was because the Sith were during
Right.
that war. The Sith weren't only fighting against the Jedi; they were also fighting amongst themselves. And each different clan, or however, I don't even know how it was set up back then, but each different group of Sith, they were under the banner of one high Sith and as a whole, but yet each of them were fighting amongst themselves to take over. And it was all the infighting that eventually created their downfall. So if you think about it like almost like a Game of Thrones sort of thing, where they had all these people vying for the throne, but it ended up being their downfall because the Jedi were united and the Sith were basically not. And because they lost that war, and because of how they lost it from all the infighting, the Darth Bane came up with the Rule of Two at the end of that war, and it's been the Rule of Two ever since. So, what I think would be cool is just seeing all that political infighting and that drama that it was created by the Sith, all during the same time that they're trying to fight this war against the Jedi. So
That'd be good.
I think it would be a great
I
dramatic
think that sounds really cool.
story.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
What
Right.
format are you expecting, John, for that?
I think it would have to be like a series, right? You couldn't even do it in
Oh,
3
okay.
films, right?
No,
If-
3 hour
If
movie.
it's a
Would
series,
you want a live action?
3 hour
Oh yeah,
movie.
live action. Yeah, I would love to see live
it
action.
can't be 30-minute episodes. It has to be like hour-long.
Yeah,
Game of
hour-long
Thrones-esque.
episodes. Do it like
No,
a 7.
no. It only works. It only works if one episode's like 42 minutes, another episode is like 33 minutes, another
Another one
episode
of
is like 41 minutes.
23.
It's the only way it works.
Yeah. No, I would like a 7-year saga like they did with Game of Thrones or something. Like, let it
Yeah.
Right,
unfold
that sounds
for
cool.
years, and
I have to-
hour-long episodes. Yeah.
I have to imagine the James Mangold movie might dip into some of that. I know that's like the origins of the Jedi, but surely it's going to dovetail into like the Sith too.
Right.
Meet the Trandashans. Yeah, that's a good one for a comedy.
All right, Eric. Eric, what's your idea?
Yes, sir. So it's maybe a bit more obvious than John's. However, different format. Animated Luke's Jedi Academy. Get
Yeah.
Mark Hamill to do it.
He
And
just has to do a voice.
Several series bridge the gap from the original trilogy to the sequels and fill in all of like the additional detail you want that might not be satisfied 100% with like the Mando movie or Mando
Okay.
series
I like
and
it.
whatnot. But on top of that, I want them to finish and release Star Wars Detours because it's just ridiculous that they've had that show on ice since Disney bought Lucasfilm. If you haven't
you shouldn't
looked,
say you shouldn't say ice. You're gonna get canceled.
oh
I'm just messing.
yeah, if you don't know what Star Wars Detours is, go look it up on YouTube. It's like Robot Chicken. It's like the Robot Chicken Star Wars episodes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Seth Green was a big part of it as well. It's crazy to me that hasn't seen the light of day, but you get like goofy things like the Lego Star Wars stuff. So it's on one hand they don't want to be goofy, but they do Lego stuff. So I don't get it.
Yeah. And then it's like yeah, I get it because they just canceled the Acolyte, right? There's not going to be any more of that.
Yeah.
So Star Wars Detours, but all right, a cartoon about the Jedi Academy. I kind of like that idea, where you're bridging the gap there.
Yeah.
Dan, did you have any idea about a Star Wars project you think would be fun or interesting?
I think just based on our brief conversation earlier, and I don't want to steal your thought because obviously I didn't put that much work into it, but I would like to see a filler like Rogue One, but not as serious and not as, maybe not
All
necessarily.
right. Well, Dan, then I think I have just the show for you.
Perfect.
So I think we all agree that Rogue One was a really good lead up, right, to Star Wars: A New Hope. So with that idea, if you think about that whole battle on Endor and stuff like that, I think it would be really interesting to figure out where those rebel troopers come from. The ones that were on the shuttle Tidarian that went down with Han Solo. So this is my idea. And a lot of process went in this. There's a couple of graphics. So basically, this guy's a screw-up. This other guy's his best friend. They decide to train for the rebel army, but their training coordinator gets blown up in basic training, and then they have to train themselves. But they impress the commander at the graduation ceremony, and then they get assigned to the shuttle Tidarian mission. It just happens to be called the EM Project. And then they head off to Endor. But basically, this is kind of a shot from the graduation, and it's called Star Wars Stripes.
Shout out to Bill Nye and Harold Ramis.
I don't know. But okay, so that's kind of goofy, right? But the idea behind it is where do these troopers come from? Why do they get to be troopers? Is there some sort of an academy or a training thing? Because Luke talked about going off and training, right? He talked about, I want to go off. Wedge was already there and stuff like that. So maybe following a recruit class or something like that would be kind of interesting to see how maybe these guys in their youth are at the training, and then all of a sudden stuff starts happening, and then basically some people's training gets cut short and they have to make a choice. What are we going to do? Type of thing. That's kind of how you build it in to this empire-ish, where they're training to be soldiers, but then they have to choose something like that. I just think.
Yeah, well, they Biggs and Wedge were in the Imperial Academy, and Luke wanted to go to the Imperial Academy, but Biggs and Wedge and them jumped ship. We saw Wedge jump ship in the Rebels cartoon.
Right.
And
so I think it would be fun to see, a basic academy, even if it was this backwoods rebel academy where they're training people up or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see
watch it.
But I'd like to I'd like to see and even maybe a show.
I think it's funnier if they are in the Imperial Academy, and then at some point they have to. At some point they hear about these guys jumping ship and going to the Rebels, and they somehow
they're in the hangar.
They're
in the hangar trying to decide, and he's like, "We got to go to the Rebels." I mean, did you cry when Old Yeller died?
Yeah, and they somehow end up on that ship, and they don't know what they're doing or where they're going, and then they just get on the shuttle and end up down on Endor, and they're like, "Oh my god," All
right.
Because I always wonder what happened to Pruneface. We watch him get on the shuttle, and then we never see Pruneface again.
What do you mean? We don't see anyone get on the shuttle.
Yeah, he's got the hood and his gun, his long rifle.
But you don't see them get on the shuttle in the movie.
You see, he's got the cloak and the big pointy cloak, and he's got the gun. You watch him walk up the ramp.
I'd have to rewatch. I don't remember seeing.
All right, everybody's homework is now go rewatch Return of the Jedi. Oh, there, JT, Star Wars Imperial Academy, but the police academy. That's exactly the idea.
There you go. Yes. God, yes.
Even better, just to get people thinking. All right, anyways, last week I asked that if you want to take a picture of Star Wars for Star Wars Day, there might be something in it for you. And next week, just so you know, this might not happen every week, but we'd like to get people involved. And if you're taking pictures of your action figures, just hashtag Toy Duo. But this week, I'm asking that if you have your action figures out and you want to take a picture of your best fight pose, you just throw it up on one of your social media accounts and hashtag the Toy Duo, and we'll try to find it and throw it on the show. But anyways, Last week we did the same thing, but it was a Star Wars related photo. So we got these two right here.
Ooh.
That was Classic Toys UK saying, "Hey, congratulations on episode 100 for the Toy Duo." He's saying, "Have a good one," and he threw in his picture of his Star Wars action figures. Yeah, I like
That's cool. I like it. Yeah.
He's just got
it. And one more geek. What?
Underappreciated, man. He's just got such a great collection, and he takes good photos, and he doesn't get enough credit, you know.
Yep, one more geek. He tagged this one. The Fable Toy Duo team pulled over for doing 100. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's good. And was he out in the snow for that?
It looks like a shaggy carpet.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
I don't know. To me, it looks like a white shaggy carpet.
Yeah, it could be either or. Well,
it looks like
if it's a shag carpet, it's a great use of the shag carpet.
That's funny. One way or another, it was a good shot.
Yeah.
All right. And then Heroes and Villains there did his see, and I almost was going to disqualify that picture because there's a G.I. Joe dog in there.
That's funny.
But
I like it.
Prophet here is having
except
some.
What did Kyrgyzstan or whatever his name die? Like when did the last one?
Chrysanthemum.
Like
no, he didn't die.
Yeah,
he's laying down like he's dead.
Oh, this last thing here is like a little bit of a video, and it doesn't. You know, I took a screenshot so it doesn't play. But anyways,
gotcha.
These are some pretty cool pictures. Prophet's like showing off the new Luke and Leia, which I think is actually really cool. And I think he's got it in front of a lunchbox.
They look good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then we got this one from Eric. He threw that up today. This is almost a disqualification because you hadn't have it in by Friday, but you can see that I took a picture of it this morning, 1 hour ago. So you flew one under the wire. You guys
I like it.
Yeah. So if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and you want to hit me up and send me your address, I got some Star Wars related stuff that I'll put the mail to you, just for participating in that.
One quick little rant here. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I opened the doors and I've got like a backdrop with another Star Speeder. Like you're in the like loading bay in that like hangar. I'm not sure if you can see through the doors.
Yes, it looks really cool. Yeah.
But one thing I need to call out, I hate posing TVC. TVC is pointless. Pointless. They're so hard to articulate. Like ultra articulated 3 3/4 is ridiculous as a concept. Oh my god. Yeah.
I believe you, Eric.
I mean, I think they've come a long way, but yeah.
Like I felt like I was about to snap the like the hips, just trying to like I couldn't get a leg like to go up in like a seating position. It was just ridiculous.
You have to twist the leg and then bend it the other way. Yeah, it's really weird.
It's stupid, is what it is. But yeah, I love the scale for vehicles and whatnot, and obviously I get the vehicles, but man, the figures are so fussy to play with.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason why the other brands don't really have 3 3/4 for anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
But I did a little video one time where I was talking about 3 3/4 inches figures versus the 6-inch. And like if I looked at like my granddaughter's hand and put the little 3 3/75-inch figure in her hand, it fits almost exactly how the 6-inch fits in my hand. So growing up, that the scale has grown up with me as the way I think about it.
So I'm not. So to be clear, I'm not saying there isn't a place for 3 3/4. It's more like the ultra articulated. They're not. They don't work that well.
They don't need that much.
The 5 POA is like what it should be limited to.
Well, they could have a bendable elbow and bendable knees, but they don't need to twist and move all over the place.
Yeah. Sorry, I needed to rant. I just like I don't articulate TVC that much. But man,
I like G.I. Joe articulation. That's what I like.
Oh yeah, mine. Because you grab them by the head and shake them, and the whole body like goes.
Yeah.
So you put a new rubber band in there.
I'll be right back, guys.
All right. Anyways, those were the pictures. Make sure that you next week or this week sometime throw up your photos for your favorite action figure fight pose and hashtag toy duo.
I'll try and remember this week. Let's see what we
and then we'll get it up and we'll share them. And this week on the hot or not section, these are the toys revealed that you did not know you needed. Look, I changed the lettering. I actually spelled didn't correctly. But anyways, it's probably going to be a pretty short section because there weren't a whole lot of things that I can find except for I think I just grabbed some pictures from like MegaCon, which is going on right now in Florida. I'm surprised John is not telling us, oh, I'm not going to make it because I'm at MegaCon. But
no, it's super expensive and dumb.
Oh, okay. So it's super. Anyways, if you're watching the show and you like what you've seen, please
there's
hit
no
the
vintage
thumbs
for
up
sale
on the
at
video so that we can help promote the show. So hit the thumbs up button. Help us get that up. We'd really appreciate it. What were you saying, John?
There's no vintage for sale at modern conventions.
Yeah, but you can pay to stand in line and get an autograph for somebody.
Yeah, not at those prices.
All right. Okay. So, anyways, the first thing I wanted to show you is this is from that fans hobby, and we showed it off I think a week ago with the Off-Striker and then the Gridiron vehicle. And what I want to do is show off this picture this week because they have a painted version of the vehicle, and I think it just elevates it a little bit. I think it looks really cool. And I'm hoping, I'm hoping the price point on this is going to be much less than what Gridiron's trying to get for theirs. And I do like that little side rack and stuff like that. It looks really cool because you could actually stand to be a figure in there.
Yeah, it's like the Off-Striker kind of almost had that on both sides though, didn't they?
Yeah. So I just took these two pictures. They had much more pictures, but I thought it was kind of cool, like fans hobby. And there was a little bit of conversation about that little ship that they had out on social media because it is very close to that G.I. Joe one. So there was some conversation about was G.I. Joe going to try to prevent them from getting it, but I think like maybe manipulating the wings and stuff like that probably avoided
I think there's so Paisano's asking about the stuff. I think there's more to this because if you do look at the close-up image, and you can also see it in the other one, there is a tube-like thing coming up where you could see like they could slot a gun in there because the original Off-Striker had a gun on top, and it also looked the original Off-Striker. The original Off-Striker had a camera of some sort or something on the front dash, and you can also see there's a little grippy thing right there in front of the passenger seat, and that grippy thing right now is empty. So what goes in that grippy thing? So I think I feel like there could be more to this, and maybe they're not showing it so it's not identical to an Off-Striker. Like they're kind of, it's one of those tricks to be like, it's not an Off-Striker. It doesn't have a gun on top. It doesn't have the camera in front. You know what I mean?
Right. But
yeah, exactly. They won't attach it in pictures, but they'll include the stuff. Yeah.
Well, let me share this and see if it shares the way I'm seeing it. Hold on. Because I have other pictures. Oh, hold on. Share screen. Share.
Because those little bazooka things are cool on the sides there. I like those.
There you go, John. Does that help?
Not really.
These were like,
yeah, because now the grippy thing isn't even there on the dash.
Well, yeah, because he's holding on to it right here.
No, the grippy thing was stuck in the
on the hood.
On the hood in front of that guy.
Yeah.
It had four little prongs. It had four little prongs that looked like
and you can see that little piece on the top isn't there. So it looks like there might be like an extra piece coming off it. Let me see if I can get another picture.
You see that thing right on the hood that's got four.
Well, you got to remember, so this thing just. Let me see.
It looks like it could hold something that they just didn't clip on yet.
Okay, let me find it. I'm gonna find them for a second. What are you guys seeing? Are you guys seeing this presentation? Yeah.
Yeah, the presentation thing.
Yep.
Have any of you seen the pictures of the VE01? The people, I've seen it in hand now on Instagram.
Yeah.
That thing is cool.
Yeah. Bees Battlegrounds did a video on it,
That's
and
who
it
I
came
saw
with like a screwdriver, and he was like, I don't know what the screwdriver's for. And then
like 2 posts
then-
later, he's like, oh yeah, that's it.
yeah, later he says, oh yeah, I figured out what the screwdriver is for. And then it's to swap the wings. You know, so it looks more like the vintage.
I'm sold. I can't find it any place in stock.
Yeah. Not even on their website? Fans Hobby?
Shopify?
Yeah.
No, it said sold out, I think.
Oh, okay. That's what you're talking about right there, John. Look.
Yeah, that little prongy thing. Like what clips into it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or is it just a? Is it
Maybe
just a
to stabilize the
whole
rifle?
gun? Yeah, like a rifle.
So he
But
can,
we were also talking about that tube on the top.
right,
Between,
this thing
yeah,
right up here.
there.
Yeah.
That looks like you could slide a gun into it, like the
Right.
original Ostriker had.
right.
So yeah,
Yeah, I think it looks really, really cool. I mean that ship was only like $90 or $86, so I'm excited to see how much this thing is going to be.
Should be the same, right?
Yeah, Jonathan saying he prefers the look of this one over the Hasbro Ostriker. I agree. I think this one just looks really good. I'm not going to jump on Hasbro right now because I know that was a mock-up, right? Like a generated mock-up, and hopefully it'll change. But
yeah, but
all
it
right.
just
So, anyways,
off.
yeah, what?
It just looked off. This I agree with him. I mean, I'm just saying I agree with him.
This thing looks cool. Anyways, update on Legends of the Hidden Forest. John, you backed this, right? One figure.
yeah. I think I'm getting 2 figures from them.
Okay, so apparently, like in December, they said 14 of the 15 figures were approved. They were just waiting on the last one. Looks like he's got his final approval as of a few days ago. So they got the mock-up for the card. That's what it's going to look like. Of course, they went to Chinese New Year, so shut down over there. So hopefully these are going to come out pretty soon. And maybe John will have something by summer. How many years will that be, John?
I can't even tell you. 3,
You ordered these when you were like 22, right?
something like that. Yeah. I think I
One
got
of
the
those
blue.
translucent.
I think I got one of them is I think I got the blue ninja, and there was a guy with an orange cape, but I don't see him on your picture. But anyway,
Yeah. That's the downside to these 3D printed, these companies doing these 3D printed vehicles. Somebody told me with the gridiron stuff that they had their stuff out in the sun and they just started to kind of like deform because of the plastic, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So this is from MegaCon. They had the Mezco. I think that's Mezco 112 Thor. Looks pretty cool. I wouldn't spend that much money on it, but whatever. This is I guess Mezco Power Rangers. So if you're a big Power Ranger, they look awesome. I think they look really cool. I think the level of them is just like I just could not do it. I just could not keep up, right? That would just be way too much. But and then
I'm looking at the GI Joe in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, they look awesome.
The Storm Shadow looks great.
Yeah. And then
that's all cloth.
Then I keep thinking, like, what would they do for a Maximum Series Joe? Would they switch to cloth outfits?
Or but that is cloth, right? The Storm Shadow and the Duke and stuff, right?
The fabric outfits or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they look really cool. Rangers look cool, but $500 to $600.
No way, seriously?
Yeah. Well, they're all Mezco's like what $100 a figure, right?
Wow.
That Thor is 95, but it's pre-sold out already.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah, so that makes me think the Hasbro one's going to be $75. Yep.
Too bad you can't take back your Price is Right price.
I know. No, $49.99. We'll see what happens, but I think I'm low now.
All right. All right, and then Transformers had the Hearts of Steel.
Hearts of Steel stuff. Yeah.
Are you super excited for these, John?
I may. Well, I guess not. Right? Are they coming in a 2-pack?
Yes, it
No,
looks like.
then I guess I'm not getting them. I collect Star Screams, but I don't want to. I don't need to get it this way.
When you got that Hall of Armor thing for your Iron Man, you sold off that little toy box Iron Man.
True. Yeah.
So wouldn't you think like, oh, if I get these, I can sell off the other one?
Yeah, I could probably sell off the Optimus Prime. We'll see how much it is and what it does. So.
All right.
Because I do have a whole shelf of Star Screams, and this one I like the way this Star Scream looks.
Right.
But I'm not really keen on the way that Optimus looks. I think he looks a little weird.
All right, and then this is another 2-pack.
Yeah, I have to look at what parts of Dev are these Hook and Long Haul? So we didn't get them yet, did we? See that I'm losing track because they're putting these out like one at a time or two at a time, and you're supposed to eventually be able to build Devastator. And now I've lost track of which one do I own, which ones are coming, where are they coming from, because they didn't come from the same. Like you could only get one on Big Bad Toy Store. Another one was an Amazon exclusive. It's like what the hell? Like I'm losing track of where all my Devastator pieces are coming from and which one I already got, which ones are on their way. So I don't know if I need these or not. You know.
Well, you need them.
I guess so.
All right. So this is the thing. Like, if you weren't already getting those other ones, or can you, whatever ones that were already came out, can you still pick them up? Is it something that
I think
weren't
they're
getting them from
nearly
the beginning, they're not worth?
They're nearly impossible. Yeah, I thought they were all already sold out, but I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'll get these if I need them to build my Devastator eventually. And hope.
Okay, so you will, because it's a chest piece and not for legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then they had this 5 points, I guess, Batman. That's what they called it. I think it looks pretty cool. I don't know what they are though. Are these those some cheaper 5 POA Batman? Is that what this is?
I'm not sure.
I couldn't tell by the picture, and there wasn't a whole lot of information, so I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So it looks more like a Movie Maniacs one, like.
Okay.
Scene.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was very posable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then
for something like that, it might as well be a statue.
Oh, is this the scare Batman from the Scarecrow scene? Wow.
Yeah, from the Batman Begins
made
or
the
whatever.
Prime and the Seekers, the Shockwave, I think. Oh, cool.
So you knew McFarlane was going to get in here somehow.
Yeah, of course.
How can you not?
And then, of course, because they made that King Kong and they released it with that Batman, they had to re-release it again with a little modification to the arm with the Flash.
MegaCon, yeah.
Right. To me, this is total just a way to reuse that King Kong figure.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah. So I wasn't interested in the Batman one. I'm not going to get this one.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. All right. Super exciting. And then you got what's that? Deathstroke or whatever. And
is that an old Deathlock? Like a really old, like original?
It's not Deathlock because that's Marvel. It's Deathstroke or whatever.
Oh, these are DC? Okay.
Yeah, these are the McFarlanes, and I think that's Adam something, whatever. And then that was it. See, not a whole lot to talk about this week.
Wow.
So I'm glad we had all that other Star Wars stuff to talk about.
Well, there was the Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, the Fantastic Four trailer came out, didn't it?
Yeah.
And the Jurassic Park. There's a new Jurassic Park.
And Jurassic Park too.
Yeah, they look good. I like them.
And Cobra Kai's coming back at the end of this week on the 13th.
Invincible's back on now.
Yep.
That's a good show.
A lot of stuff. And I did watch the first episode of the Spider-Man cartoon, which was pretty good, I gotta say.
Pretty good?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, I thought
Yeah,
it was
I'm on episode 3 of the new Spider-Man cartoon. I actually really like it.
it was
I was very, I do have to say I was very confused in the beginning, but I figured it out, I guess.
it was kind of weird. Like the animation is a little bit different than I expected because it doesn't feel fluid, you know, like it feels very rough. But like, yeah, I think I liked it actually. It was a good watch. I've only seen the first episode though because I had other stuff going on. So
I'm almost all caught up with that.
I don't know why, but when Peter saved Harry Osborn, I thought he saved a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, Osborn says, "You saved my son." And I went, "Oh, I guess that's how they draw boys in this cartoon." I don't know. I felt really like.
What's the Arkham Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Deadshot. That's who it was. Deadshot. Yeah. That's who it was.
Man, that took us way too long.
Yeah. That was
Bunch of DC fans here, you can tell.
Oh yeah, obviously.
It's the guy, the character Will Smith played, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think it was going to be the whatever his name, Joe. What's his name? Magnanello or whatever was going to be the one in the DC universe or whatever.
Yeah. One from True Blood.
Yeah, Joe Manganiello. Yeah.
There you go. That's his name. I did not see this Batman Arkham thing. Why am I not seeing that? Anyways. All right. What else?
What'd you think of the Fantastic Four?
I liked it actually. I thought it was really good.
Yeah,
I was really impressed with it.
I love the look.
I get the impression that like what's going to end up happening is, even though it's like set in the 60s, it's obviously not in
universe.
Our universe, right? So there's got to be like a crossover or something like that.
But are they from our universe, or are they from the 616 universe originally, and they got trapped there, or did
you
know? Yeah.
Do you want to hear a comic book store theory?
Sure.
So I was hanging out at the comic book store yesterday for a couple hours while I was buying my comics. I get roped into conversations with the guy that works there, manages the place, and people who come in. And so the theory that everybody came to in the comic book store was, we're going to see they're in the 60s on their Earth. It's not our MCU Earth. It's their Earth. And when you see Galactus, they're going to have a battle with Galactus, but they're going to lose. And Galactus is going to devour and destroy their Earth. But they get through some kind of multiverse jump or time jump or something, and sends them to the MCU universe where Galactus is on his way.
Ooh,
and they're going to they're going to end up in our timeline, current movie timeline, in the MCU universe
with a second
chance to save Earth from Galactus. Yeah.
So,
and with the combined might of these heroes that are already existing, they'll be able to stop Galactus. But that might be a second movie or a movie down the road. You know what I mean?
So does Doom, Robert Downey Jr. Doom, show up and come with them? Is that his origin?
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of crazy. That could be. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that could be an interesting idea.
We didn't actually touch on that part of it. They were just, that's interesting.
But I love the like mid-century modern, like late 50s, early 60s design.
And I really liked to see that. I liked that Galactus actually had the Galactus. You saw him from the back.
Yeah,
it was Galactus. It wasn't a misty cloud of smoke going, or something. It was actually.
Because they could have just stopped with the shadow on the ground when they showed the shadow. They didn't actually have to show the back of his head, right?
Oh yeah.
Because there was that one clip where they showed the city and they showed like the shadow, and they could have stopped there.
Yeah. He was scaled down though.
Yeah, they might be doing the one. Wasn't one in one of the cartoons? Was it in the Silver Surfer cartoon where when Galactus showed up, he was in a machine, and the machine that he controlled is what was bigger and devoured the planets, and then it fed it through tubes into his body. And he was sitting in a chair in that machine, so that when he came out and fought the heroes, he was like only like 100 or 200 feet tall instead of like bigger than a planet. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So they.
yeah.
Was that the
I mean,
old
it'd be
90s?
kind of weird if he was bigger than if he was the size of one of the like
Celestials or whatever.
Celestials,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was the 90s Silver Surfer cartoon, if I remember right, but I could be mixing them up.
I have to go back and watch that. I haven't seen that since it came out.
Yeah.
By the way, John, I owe you an apology. I was wrong. I was rewatching that part of Return of the Jedi. You do see people go up the ramp to the shuttle Tiberian, and there is a character with a hood that resembles. You don't see the front, but
yeah,
it resembles the costume that the one Pruneface has in the.
Well, I wasn't sure it was Pruneface in the beginning myself, but someone says you see his long rifle.
Yeah, but
so they're all saying that's Pruneface getting on the ship, but then you never see him again.
Maybe,
you know?
Yeah. So I was wrong. Sorry, I needed to fact check myself.
It's okay, dude.
Check. Eric, the fact checked. I got fact checked.
Looks fan-freaking-tastic.
The song at the end of it was kind of like weird and hokey though, like when they were saying like Fantastic Four or like whatever it was, like yeah.
Was that from the 90s cartoon one?
No, that was at the end of the teaser. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not sure if you noticed.
I don't know if I heard the song, but
the live stream for the teaser was kind of weird though. That whole shtick was like an interesting idea to have it be like a countdown to like for like a space flight, but it just seemed kind of cheesy. So sorry. Riveting content here.
Right? Yeah. No, I remember the 90s cartoon. It was like, let's go for more Fantastic Four. It was a really weird theme song.
Before we put the last nails in this thing. John, that whole thing about, I just want to say, John, that whole thing about the adding of 2 days every 104 years.
He's still chewing
we're back on this.
I think that's a good topic for your super awesome science channel, not for here. But anyways, I really appreciate everybody who stuck around. I'm actually fine. Oh, that stuck around and sat through after that part of the conversation because we had a lot more to talk about. But anyways, no,
we lost half the audience trying to explain.
It didn't go down as far as I thought it would. It was only like 24 to 19.
So let me ask you guys a question. So with the numbering of the thing, should I just start numbering as 1 or just make it 101?
Oh, do you want each season? You want us to do season 2?
Yeah.
Could this be season 2, episode 1?
Technically, I started already calling like season 2 once the year ended last year. Last year, like in
you did.
January.
I get you. Okay.
So this is actually
Toy Duo Team the reboot.
Okay, so 101. Okay, we'll figure it out. Anyways, we'll have some new segments coming up. If anybody has any ideas, shoot them over. If there's something you want to see that we're not doing already, let us know. Just leave a comment on the video or one of the other videos and stuff like that. We'll do that. But anyways, we want to thank everybody in the chat for coming along and hanging out with us for 90 minutes or so. And we'll kind of just wrap things up and hope you have a fantastic weekend. Next week when we come back, I'm going to be older because my Monday's my birthday. And we'll see you next time.
72.
Yeah.
It's going to be 72
on the Toy Duo Team.
Action, fear, and toy news. Talking movies and TV.